Hi, so nice to see you if you're here. When you pop on, please say hello. And if you're new to us, if you haven't been onto one of my lives before, let me know where you are, because I love finding out where everybody is in the world. It's always fun knowing what time it is wherever you might be. Right here, I'm on the east coast of Australia and it's just gone 7:30 p.m. So as people start to pop on, I love seeing you guys all here on a Sunday night. I'm just going to go onto my YouTube channel and double check that we are actually live in the right place. Should be. Yep, it's looking good. And I see we've got a few people here already, so please say hi. Hey Helen, nice to see you. Okay, give me a moment. I want to be able to see your comments. That's what I want to see. And now I can. Excellent. Hey there, Bronwyn. Nice to see you. Kay, hi. Okay. All right. So it's been a big weekend here. We are lucky enough as demonstrators, when you get to a particular leader title with Stampin' Up, and I mean I've been with Stampin' Up for a long time, so that's why I'm where I am. But it just it means that they allow those of us who are a little bit further up to get some fantastic special leader training, and that was this weekend. It's once a year. It's actually meant to be an in-person event, but of course this year and last year it hasn't been. Last year we were meant to be in New Orleans for this event, and this year we were meant to be in Las Vegas, but neither of those have come off. And even if they went ahead, we wouldn't be allowed to travel from Australia anyway, because they've got us locked down. So just means that they have made it online events. And I have to say, last year I was so surprised. I mean, I was really disappointed when they had to cancel it, and I just thought it couldn't be nearly as good online, and maybe it wasn't as good as what it would have been being there, but it was an amazing event. And this year it was another amazing event, and I don't know how they do it. They just seem to make it work. So absolutely fantastic. Lots of opportunities for us to all be on Zoom with other demonstrators all around the world, connecting and networking and getting ideas from each other, which is fantastic. Things that I've never thought of in my business that I can try, and you may see some of those things happen over the next few months. Yeah, it was a great weekend, Trudy. Thank you for asking. Hey there, Deb. Nice to see you. It was great. It was really great all the way up to the point yesterday in the middle of, they had a Stampin' Up game show, which was like Stampin' Up Family Feud, which was actually a lot of fun. It was really, really great, except halfway through that, that's when my husband came to the door and told me he needed me to drive him to the hospital. So off we went to emergency. I missed the end of the game thing. I don't know who won, but I'm sure it wasn't the point of the exercise. It was meant to be a fun exercise. Hey there, Tina. Hi, Rose. So that was how my day ended. And then I had to come home again because of COVID. I'm not allowed to wait at the hospital with my husband. So I had to come home again. He was just told that I'd gone home and didn't understand why, because he was in so much pain. And so he was really, really sad. Yes, I think he's all right. I think he's coming home tomorrow, but we'll wait and see. So he had last night and tonight in there, and they're still trying to work out exactly what's wrong, but at least it's not his heart, which is his initial concern, and it's not gallstones and it's not kidney stones. So they've done lots of things, ruled lots of things out, that we're still waiting to find out what it actually is. They've got a couple of suspicions. We'll see. But anyway, hopefully he'll be home tomorrow, I hope, because they've now got him off the morphine and eating. So yeah, I hope so too, Kay. Thank you. He's always doing stuff, you know. We've actually been to the emergency room 4 times in the last year and a half with him. and it's just, yeah, I don't know why, but anyway, he's just not, and they've all been completely unrelated things. It's not that his health is poor. He's actually in really great health. So this was the first time it was kind of more of a health issue. The other times were accidents and things that were out of the ordinary. So yeah. I know, right? So, I am here with you tonight. I had a nap this afternoon because I was so tired this afternoon. I couldn't keep my eyes open. The days for this conference, because it's in the US, it's in times that don't really suit some of us around the world. On Friday morning, we started at 6. And then Saturday and this morning we started at 4. So it was up early, get ready, get a coffee and try and get your eyes open and then watch. It was so worth it though. It was really fantastic. So I'm hoping to put lots of the ideas I learned into place, which is pretty cool. All right. Yes, he is keeping me on my toes. Exactly right. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to pop this phone in the holder and let's get started. Got a couple of ideas about what I want to do tonight and let's make it happen. Here we go. Trying not to turn off the phone tonight as I turn around. There we go. Hooray! All right. How is everyone's months going? Everyone, I think, is aware that it is Celebration at the moment. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Celebration, it was traditionally a promotion we had in January, February, March every year. This year they changed it to just January and February and instead gave us a second one. It was meant to be July, August, but because they couldn't ship all the products to us in time this year because of all the shipping delays, it ended up being August, September. So it's on right now. We're at the end of August. We've got one more month of it to go. And there are 3 ways to cash in. You can either get a free gift with purchase out of this little catalogue every time you spend $90. So for every $90 order. Or there is a beautiful stamp set for $500 plus orders or group orders or workshop orders. And the third offer is a joining offer where they're giving away for $169, you get $235 worth of products, plus you get to pick any of these fantastic bundles that are on page 19 of the Celebration catalogue. So this is actually, if you've ever thought about joining, this is a fantastic time to think about it now because it is, yeah, it's really, really cool. All right, so let's start by doing a little bit of creating. I'm going to be using Peaceful Deer tonight. The main reason I wanted to use Peaceful Deer tonight is that tonight is the last night to register for my Peaceful Deer class. So I thought I'll do a card out of my head tonight that is nothing like any of the cards that are in the class, but at least it gives you another look at things you can do with this. If you don't have the Peaceful Deer bundle, this is a really great bundle to have. If you do already have it, you might want to think about doing the class. You can either get the tutorial just for $20, or you can actually buy the Peaceful Deer bundle, or if you've already got it, you can also place an order and you get the supplies sent out to you if you're in Australia, and you also get the tutorial. So you can get just the tutorial for $20, or you can get all the supplies and everything to put it all together, and all you need to have is the Peaceful Deer bundle, whether you purchased it earlier or you purchase it now. But it's the stamp set and the punch that you're going to need. All right, so let's do some fun things with this tonight. I had a bit of an idea, and I haven't decided. I'm going to get you guys, as I like to do, I'm going to get you guys to help me decide what looks best in a couple of situations. I've given you a couple of options tonight. I'm starting with a piece of grey granite cardstock. Grey granite is actually one of my favourite neutrals. Anyone else a big fan of this colour? Let me know if you are. Hey Cherie, hi Judith, hi Tina, hey Jenny. Lots of people coming on, that's great. All right, so just to give you a bit of an idea, let me see. Okay, so grey granite is, I think this is, it's not really a beige. I mean, Crumb Cake is more close to your beige. Okay, this is more of a browny tone. Okay, this is closer to a grey, and you would think it's grey until we put colour like Smoky Slate next to it. Let me quickly grab a piece of Smoky Slate and I'll show you what I mean. So this is Smoky Slate, and you can see that's different again. Okay, so we've got the 3 colours. Look how different they all are. It is closer to the Smoky Slate than it is to the Crumb Cake, but it's its own colour. Okay, so I'm a big fan of this grey granite colour because to me it's not too beige, it's not too grey, it's kind of in the middle. And if I look really closely, it has a bit of almost a mauvey tone about it. You don't mind it either, Trudy? That's good. Just to do a final comparison. this is what Sahara Sand looks like. So these are all some of our, like, what I would call mid-neutrals. Sahara Sand is different again. It has more of a green base to it. Definitely more of a green undertone. Then you've got your beige, you've got your grey, and this one's got a bit more of a mauve undertone to it. So, yes, a warm grey, and Smoky Slate is a cool grey. Exactly right, Cherie. That's exactly right. So, and I think Crumb Cake is also quite a warm colour. So, you know, when you look at them, it helps you kind of differentiate between them. If you can't decide which one you want, sometimes putting them together like this is a really great plan, because it really helps you separate which one you like. But tonight I'm starting with grey granite, and I'm going to have a base. So I've already cut a piece of grey granite here out of grey granite with these seasonal layers dies. These are one of my favorite die sets at the moment. I just think they're fantastic. They match the painted Christmas wheat. Let me show that to you. I just realized I forgot to put my AirPods in again. Why do I do that? If everyone can hear me okay. If there's any problems with hearing me, I might pop the earphones in, but for now, seeing as we started this way, I'll continue. All right, so this is the painted Christmas suite. On Friday night, if you guys were with me, we made a card with this suite. Here it is. It was this one, the one that we did all these lovely, like, pine cones and leaves and things, and then I used, these are the seasonal layers dies that I'm talking about right now. So that's what I've actually cut my grey granite piece with. This piece here is this die from the seasonal layers. Okay, so it's these ones, and to be honest, I think this is one of the best die sets we've had in a while. I love all the labels for putting greetings on or other things. I'm going to use it a bit differently tonight rather than for a greeting. Great for motifs, and then you've also got all the different little pieces that cut out the different stamps. So really, really nice. And you can see here, so this label is one of the, it's this long thin one here. Isn't that nice? Really, really like it. So and that's on Crumb Cake, by the way. And then there's another set, which is what they call, this is what they call a mega suite, when there are 2 stamp sets and 2 die sets in the one suite. So it does make it more of an expensive option. If you wanted everything, 2 stamps, 2 dies, the leaves, the cherry cobbler and gold ribbon, and you wanted the paper as well, all of that together is $244.75, which is a big investment. But they do all match each other. So if that's something you have your heart set on, then you can buy them all with one code for that price. However, you can buy any of the individual pieces. I don't actually have this set yet. I don't have these ones. I have all the other bits, but I don't have these. I have just bought the stamp set, Christmas to Remember, because I really wanted the greetings, and I'm still deciding whether or not I'm going to get these little pine coney ones, but I haven't yet. I've held off. I'm holding myself back. Yeah, cheap in the long run. You're right. And exactly, you would use these every Christmas. To me, this looks to me a bit like an Australian native kind of a setup, and that's why I made this card. I think with these colors, it does remind me of a real native thing, even though I'm not sure why. I think it's the colors. Do you think? Is that why it could be? So, yes, and that's the other option, Cherie, exactly. You can join at the moment and get this set for free if you want to. So when you look at the back of the celebration catalogue, and so that's not everything, that's either this bundle or this bundle. I'm just going to double check myself and make sure they are both correctly in here. This is page 17 of the catalogue. So we've got, let me have a quick look. Christmas season. There we go, this one here, and Christmas to Remember. Both of those are available either or as a free item when you join before the end of September. So that is, it's just the coolest deal, okay? And that doesn't even count all the other benefits and perks. So if you're looking at that, I think it's a really great thing to think about right now. All right, so I'm going to put this back in here for now, but as you can see, I've cut the grey granite piece with these dies. All right, so we're going to do a bit of stamping on this, and I like stamping on neutral colors. I just think it looks really, really great. I'm going to use my 2 greens from the New In colors for this, and we've got some nice little Christmas trees here. I'm going to start with this big one, and I'm going to pop it on a block. All right. And I'm going to start with the lighter colour, the Evening Evergreen. I did do a card similar to this. I think it was on a, I don't think it was a YouTube live. I think it was a Facebook live. For anyone who's wondering, I do Facebook lives every Friday night, and then I'm here on YouTube every Sunday night. All right, so I'm going to start by popping this sort of just down a little bit. The top of the tree is just down a little bit from the top of the die, just like this. And without re-inking, I'm going to pop a second one here. Then we'll ink again. You can, I did re-ink then, I could have not. So we've got some that are in the background. I'll have another one. I'm stamping off this time because I just want them to sort of look like there's some trees are further away. Yeah. And then I'm going to use my darker color, my Evening Evergreen, to add some other trees. These ones here. Oop. They want to stick to the paper. All right. There's something about a neutral background and stamping on a neutral background that just makes me happy. Don't know what it is. All right, so these ones are going with the darker color, the Evening Evergreen, and I'm going to bring this down a little bit closer to the front. So, like I've got some, and we'll do some just there at the front. So we've got some trees, some smaller trees, little baby ones. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a deer, and I'm deciding whether I'm going to put him on white or, I think white. You could also do vanilla. Either color would work. But it looks nice just even like that, even without a deer, right? I think so anyway. So I'm just going to grab some white paper here, and I am going to grab, well, I can grab any of the deers, but just so you know, the deers that match the punch, and obviously it's easier to punch them than it is to cut them out by hand. But if you have a look here on the front, you'll see there's like this deer that's standing and one that's sitting down, one that's having a little sleep. These ones you would have to cut out by hand because there's no punch for those. But this one that looks like it's dancing and prancing, these two actually will cut out with your punch, okay? So I'm going to use this one because I want to punch it out just to make my life easier. So I'm going to pop that also on a block. I'm using block D for anyone who's wondering. And as for colour, totally up to you. I could go black, but I won't. I'm going to go early espresso. Maybe that's a little bit more natural. Oh, people are talking about what they have for dinner. You know what I've had for dinner, guys, so far? Not done yet. Look. Popcorn. I know that's not, you know, the healthiest thing to have for dinner, but anyway, that's as far as I've got so far. All right, so I'm going to stamp this little guy. Very, very cute. I think it's a girl. If I put antlers on it, and I could put antlers on it, we do have antlers in the set, which I might add later, maybe. We could. But I'm going to punch her out, but I'm actually going to color her in first. And I'm thinking we might color with, I don't have grey granite blends, but I do have smoky slate. So there's dark smoky slate and light smoky slate. I can do that, or I can go towards crumb cake and make her more of a fawn, more brown. Maybe we'll do a fawn. And even though this is grey granite and this colour is slightly different, it won't look bad, okay? The greys kind of all blend together. I might just stick with the grey. Yes, true. There is a lot of fibre in popcorn. Thanks for making me feel better. The only reason I'm eating it is because I was feeling a bit lazy. So, all right. So I'm going to start sort of under here where there's a little bit of shadow. Actually, I might just do these two legs first. The secret with the blends is that you barely touch the paper. You just like, you really, really just touch so lightly, you're almost floating. And there is a thin end and a fat end. For the bottom of these legs, I'm going to use the thin end because they're so little. It just makes it easier on myself. And the other thing with blends is you want to do a small area at a time. And the reason we want to do that is because they blend better when they're wet. So with that in mind, I'm going to start under here, a bit of shadow under the tummy. And then I'm going to colour, whoop, that's the wrong end. Also, you'll hear they make a clicking noise when you put the lids on and off. Always make sure you hear that click because then you know that it's on properly and your lids won't, the alcohol ink won't evaporate out of there. So while I'm colouring, I find it hard to talk and colour at the same time. Because, you know, you've got to hold your tongue right. And not only that, but you also have to concentrate so you don't go outside the lines. And it always helps if you don't talk at the same time. I don't know why. So the good thing about blends is when you're going on, you can be a little bit, like it doesn't matter if I'm not perfectly even, because as the alcohol ink evaporates out, they even out, the colour evens out, and then you can always go over it if there's something that you want to add more colour or more shading. You can actually get more colours just by going over what you've already done, or you can add your darker colour. And they do sell them in pairs, these, so $15.50 for a pair of a dark and light type. So I'm just going to colour the face with the small end. And I'm going to use my darker one just to get a little bit of shading under here. And then while it's still wet, I blend it back in to the rest of the grey. But just remember to use a really light touch. I'll leave it like that. Then I'm going to get my, actually, one thing I am going to do is I'm going to grab my petal pink. Dark or light doesn't really matter, and I'm just going to do in its ears. Just a little bit delicate there, but kind of pretty. Alright, so I'm going to line this up as best I can. So what I find is to line up a punch, always punch upside down so you can see where you're going and line up exactly. I kind of hold it firm, so I'm actually gripping the paper, so that's actually not going to move around because I'm gripping it, but without pushing so hard that it goes all the way through, while I check to make sure that I'm happy with the placement, because I can move it and then when I'm ready, punch all the way through. And there she is. And see, when we put her in front of the forest, doesn't she look cute? I think she looks lovely. So let's add some little dimensionals, some mini dimensionals behind her. Don't ever worry that your alcohol ink goes through, your blends go through the colouring to the paper to the other side, because that's normal. All alcohol inks will do that. Your water-based markers don't, but that's just something to be mindful of if you're making a card. I don't tend to use blends on a card base that's going to go through to the inside of the card, but I'll use it on another piece that I then stick onto a card base. Right, so we're just going to pop her there. And see, if I wanted to, I could give her antlers. I could have put the antlers just down here before I placed her down, but I'm going to leave it just as it is. Good morning from Canada. Hello, Joanne. Nice to see you there. Oh gosh, I'm just reading back, Tina. That is terrible. Oh, we're so lucky. You know, people, I know there's lots of people complaining about lockdown and stuff, and then I look at other things that are going on around the world and think, oh my gosh, you know, we have nothing to complain about. It's pretty fantastic here, really. I mean, all we've got to do is stay home, and that's not so bad. All right, so this piece here is going to go on to a piece of So Succulent that I've already embossed, and I'm going to give you guys two choices. This is the painted texture, and I want to show you what that looks like. It looks nice on that. It gives us just a lovely bit of texture. And this is the new die, sorry, the new embossing folder that goes with the Merriest Moments bundle. Okay, so this is really, really nice. And because this central rectangle here is smaller than this piece, these bits are just going to stick out from underneath. And I just wondered which one people would prefer. Do you think the painted texture or the Merriest Moments folder? Which one, guys? The new one, Judith? Okay. All right. That's the one we're going to do. All right. So I'm going to pop a couple of dimensionals behind here. And as you can see, this is a very simple card. It's not going to, there's not a lot more to this. I'm deciding where I will put a sentiment. I'm going to do four of these, just like this. And then we're going to pop this right here in the middle. So the colour is Soft Succulent, which is the same colour as the ink of these lighter trees. So it looks rather nice. It does look good, that folder, doesn't it? Look at all those little leaves coming out from behind. It makes it a bit more Christmassy, whereas this is lovely, but it's not Christmassy. So I think that looks really nice. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? I do like it. All right. Now I think we need some bling. Just, you know, we just do. And I've got my gorgeous Bedazzling paper here. Now this paper, as you can see, I've been busy cutting all sorts of things out of it. I love it. It's just gorgeous. And it is in our celebration catalogue as well. So this is actually a free item with a $90 order here in Australia. And it's this gorgeous, gorgeous paper that I keep saying it looks like a glow mesh handbag. Absolutely beautiful. Or, you know, a disco ball maybe. Just gorgeous. It does come in a pack of 8 sheets. 6 by 6 sheets, and you can see I've been chopping it up. So it die cuts really well for anyone who's wondering, and you can also cut it with your trimmer. It punches okay, although when I tried to cut, I have seen people have managed to cut the reindeer with this paper, but in my mind it was asking a lot of this punch because it's so intricate with all these little details, and this paper's thick, so it did take a lot to get through, and I personally didn't like doing that. So I haven't been cutting this reindeer with this paper just because to me it's too thick, but I have seen a few people do it. So obviously some people are more comfortable using their punch for that kind of paper than I am, but that's just a personal choice, right? All right, so I do have here, we've got a couple of options. We could just put a piece straight through, you know, and have it popping out each side, which would look rather nice. That is a possibility. Now that I've got this on here and I'm thinking about a sentiment, I'm actually thinking it might be nice to put a sentiment straight onto this piece rather than having a separate piece. And we have some beautiful sentiments in this set. Probably one of the smaller ones, we could have Merry Christmas, Let's Celebrate would work. It's the best time of the year would work, but I think maybe something shorter and smaller would be better on here. Or From All of Us. Merry Christmas or Let's Celebrate. Which way will we go? What do you guys think? Gold emboss sentiment? Yeah, we could do that. We could. That would work. Although I wonder if it would compete a little bit with the trees. If I was going to use ink, I would probably go with the early espresso because it would be a little darker than the trees. But we can do gold. We can. I've got the gold just really close by, so that's not hard to do. Should we try it? If we're going to try it, because we've already done stamping here and we want to make sure that no embossing powder is going to stick to that, I do have my embossing buddy. Now, we don't sell these anymore, which is very, very sad. But if you have one, I would use it after I've stamped like this because you want to make sure that no powder is going to stick where you don't want it to. And I have already put dimensionals down, so I've made it a bit tricky for myself, but I'm still gonna do it. So we'll need Versamark or some sort of pigment ink. And then gold powder. So let's try this. It's always nice to try something different anyway. So what did people decide? Did we decide, oh, sticky dough pudding? Wow, Jenny, that's yummy. Oh, just going through to see if, oh, no one has said. Well, if no one's going to say, then I get to pick. You guys just gonna have to deal with whatever I choose. Deciding between Let's Celebrate or Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, okay. I saw that, Judith. So that would fit right about here. I mean, I could have it in the middle, but no, I don't think that's right. I think it looks better just to one side. So let's do that. I'm going to use a smaller block for it. Get it nice and straight on my block. It just makes it easier. And let's ink it up with our Versamark. And give me a second while my head comes in. I've got it going quite close to the edge of the shape, but I think that's okay. Yeah, I think that's okay. All right, let's see how we go. So I've got my little container. I always have a little container when I'm embossing. I just find, whoops, better put that lid on. Well, Jody will have a word to me about that. And I'm going to tap this off. Now, ideally, you would do this before you stick the card together like this, but because this is an afterthought. All right, I'm going to tip that back in. Great thing about embossing powder is you don't use very much when you use it. It all ends up back in the pot, or most of it. So it takes me forever to get through a tin of embossing powder, a little pot. Ooh, okay. All right, here we go. We've got our heat tool. And let's give it a quick run. Well, nearly there, nearly cooked. All right, it seems to be cooked. It's a tiny bit sticky still, so just a little bit more. All right, that seems to be okay. All right, so that's how the Merry Christmas turned out. Okay, now I still want to use some bling, and I don't know whether I should have a piece coming out either side, because I could snip this in the middle and have a piece in either side. That would work. That would look quite nice. Or whether I should cut a leaf or two and add that behind here, like have my little leaves popping out. And I'm thinking that that's what I'd like to do. But I think a more delicate leaf would be nice. So I can look at these ones in here again. These aren't particularly delicate. So like these ones I used on they're not delicate, but they would pop out there like this. They would look good though. And they're the same ones that I used on my Friday night card with the Blackberry Beauty paper. I use these. But I'm wondering if I should use something different. What do we think? Just some gems maybe, Cherie? And I'm so sorry, Judy. I got your name wrong. I'm sorry. Maybe you could change. I wonder if you can change your name so it appears as Judy instead. That way we won't get confused. I'll try and get that right next time. All right, I think you're right. Maybe just some gems instead of this. Even though I love using this on everything, I'm going to use it on the next card. So that will suffice. I'm deciding which gems to use. I think possibly these wonderful gems are really nice. Also, faceted gems would look good. But these are cute because they've got like glitter inside the... So let's see how they look. And I think the gold in those brings out the gold in the writing. So that's probably quite a nice little way to go. And they've got, I don't know if you can see. Can you see, guys? They've got like glittery stuff in the middle of the gems. They're kind of cute. A little bit antique looking. I've used up all my red ones in my matte dots. I've just ordered some more because I keep using them all up. All right. Now, this will end up on our grey granite card base that we cut earlier. So let's pop that on there. One thing I think it does need, it needs a little bit of a zip around with a sponge. And I do have, let me see, yep, I do. I have a little dauber here. And I'm going to go around. I could go with a darker colour, but I'm just going to go around with the soft succulent, which is the colour, the same colour as the cardstock. And that'll just finish off the edges. Yep, that's good. I've got my door closed tonight so that Crumpet can't come in because he keeps on, I think he's asleep at the moment anyway on his on my daughter's bed, his sister's bed, but but he has been coming in and tearing around the house like he's on drugs. I don't know. He's on something. He just races around like there's no tomorrow, like he can't go any faster. And just zoom, zoom, zoom. What we call the zoomies around here. Right. So I'm going to use, what will I use? Usually, multi-purpose is a good choice for embossed surfaces because you don't have to worry. Like if you use seal, sometimes it misses a bit on, or, you know, or snail or whatever you've been using, like a runner. Sometimes it doesn't go as well into all the little holes, but multi-purpose glue is pretty good for that. I find different adhesives are better for different things, don't you? Shut this. All right, so that's card number 1 done. Simple enough card, but I think it turned out rather nice. Love, love, love the Peaceful Deer set. Don't forget the class finishes today. So if you want the Peaceful Deer tutorial with it has 4 different cards in it. You can read more details on my blog, and I will put the link in the description at the bottom of this video when I'm done. So yeah, it finishes today. Or if you want to have all the supplies sent to you, you just need to place a little order. Use the class code, and you can either get the Peaceful Deer bundle if you don't already have it, or if you already have it, just any little order will do. Okay, so I hope that inspires somebody, because it's been a fun month, and I invite you to take part. I'm loving providing these little classes for you, and it's really nice when people are part of that. This one's not by Zoom. This one is just the pre-recorded tutorial. So sometimes I do Zoom. Last week I did a Zoom one with my catalogue launch, and that went really, really well. A couple of the people who were here today actually were on that one. So yeah, it was really nice when people are able to join me for that. Now I just hope I haven't missed anyone's comments. Hi Sandra, nice to see you in Germany there. All right, I'm glad you like the card. That's great. Right, so this is the Merriest Moments stamp set that matches that that embossing folder that I just showed you. In fact, I'll quickly show you this because it is absolutely stunning. The Merriest Moments bundle. Where is it? Have I gone past it? Oh, I need to look it up at the back. Sorry. Various moments. Where am I looking? Sometimes I can't see things I want to see. Has anyone got the page number? Because I've lost it. Here it is here. Okay, so the Merriest Moments bundle is not just a stamp set and a die set, it is the embossing folder as well. So you get the 3 pieces and the whole lot is only $94.50 for the stamps, the dies and the embossing folder. So it's a really, really good deal. And let me just see if it's a freebie with the catalogue. I think it might be, but let me have a look. No, this one isn't. I mean, you could get it in your kit, but it's not one of the freebies. So this one is a bit of a special one because it has got that embossing folder in it, the one we just used on that last card. All right. Just let me get set up and we'll move everything over. That's funny, Cherie. Your husband's a smarty pants by the sound of things. Does that sound right? All right. So what I thought I would do for this second card is I've just pulled out, this is a really simple one. I've pulled out a few pieces. I'm using, this is another specialty paper. You can see hopefully the nice foil on it. This is the Whimsical Trees stuff. And it is really, really lovely. It's got lots and lots of unusual Christmas colours, I think, for anyone who has noticed it. So it's this Whimsy and Wonder suite, which has got stamp set, which I don't have yet, by the way, and dies. This gorgeous paper, which this is the one I'm using on this card. Really interesting colorways: Polished Pink, Blushing Bride, Mossy Meadow, Mint Macaron, Misty Moonlight, and Iridescent, which is like a really shiny color. And we've got these lovely snowflakes, and this got Blushing Bride ribbon as well. So Robin and I were just talking about the Blushing Bride ribbon just today. It's really unusual, isn't it, Tina? It's not one that, these are not colors I probably would have normally put together, and yet I love it. I love the paper, and how beautiful is that? So we're just going to go with a very, very simple little project here. This one won't take long at all. I've actually got some of our new silver foil. For anyone who hasn't seen the silver foil, I picked this out because it matches the silver foil that's in the paper, and I'm going to put those one inside the other. And I brought them over to show you. So this is also in the new catalogue. So this is called silver foil, and it's the sheets of foil in this are really different. So first of all, you've got this one, which is a true silver in my mind, and it's got like a brushed metallic look to it. I'm just going to scroll down and make sure that you can see that okay. So it's hard to see the brushed look on the camera, but I promise you it's there. Okay, and that's the one I'm using on this card. And then we've also got this one, which is almost a matte. It's got a shimmer to it, but it's not shiny like this one. Can you see that it is different? Like this has got a super, super shine, and this doesn't. It has more of a matte look, and it's got a bit of a blue tone to it. So I really like it. I haven't worked out what I'm going to do with it yet. I would like to do something with it. I think it would look really nice embossed. It is very, very pretty. So yeah, I'm sure you'll see something made with that this week, because I really have plans to use that. And then the other piece that's in here is actually my favorite. So this is darker again. In fact, we put them all next to each other. You'll see how different they all are. This one, I don't know if you can see it, has like a texture to it. Can you see that? And it's like a dark steel. It's called, these are all 3 of them called silver foil, and they're part of the silver foil pack, but they're all completely different, and I just think they're stunning. And it's really nice to get a good look at them, because you really don't see that in the catalogue. So for anyone who's wondering what it's like, I hope this gives you a bit more of an idea. And the silver foil is a different, I'm just going to quickly look it up for you. Here it is. It's, I believe it's 3 in the pack, or is it 6? Hang on, let me double check. 23, page 23. Okay, so it's 3 sheets. One of this, and one of this. Okay, and It is $17.50 here in Australia for the 3 sheets, which probably sounds a little more expensive than a lot of our other papers, but I think it's so beautiful, and you don't use a lot of it when you create. I would use it probably fairly sparingly. This is something that would be a really nice and unusual part of your collection. I think it looks good with specialty items. It's very, very nice. Yeah, the texture is lovely. I agree. So, oh, I didn't know that, Bronwyn. So it has a frayed edge like the navy one. I know what you mean. It's almost like it's distressed. Very, very nice. Yeah, it does have, it is on its way to lilac. You are right, Cherie. It's lilac blue kind of, it's an interesting tones, but you can see them here on page 75 of the catalogue, or further back on page 23. So something really different. But I'm using this one today because it's a true silver and is closer to the silver foil that's in this paper. So I wanted to show you the paper. Let me quickly grab it. I've chopped mine up into all sorts of little pieces, but I hope you'll see how lovely this is. It is what they call a specialty paper, and as the name suggests, if something is called a specialty paper, it means there's something really special about it. So where our regular DSP is usually in Australia $20 a pack, the specialty papers are $26. And I think that extra $6, you're definitely getting your $6 worth, because they are just so beautiful. This one is like, it said iridescent, and you can see it like iridescent shimmer to that. It's just beautiful. Stripes on the other side. Here's your iridescent again. So it's actually like multicolored. And on the back we've got Mossy Meadow. Like I said, these are not colors that I probably would have normally put together, but they actually look beautiful. The presents have got little iridescent bows, more Mossy Meadow and little berries on the back. Then we've got, it's nice to be able to show these to you close up. And then we've got some decorations, ornaments, and on the back you've got your Mossy Meadow trees, like a subtle little pattern. And that's the holly that I'm using on this card. And on the back you've got your polished pink, like a distressed look, which is kind of cool as well. This is actually probably my favorite one in the whole pack. I love these trees. Look, isn't that beautiful? And iridescent sparkles on those little green trees. The green in this is mint macaron. That's mint macaron on the back, and again it's more of a distressed look. Yeah, I like it too. And you know what, when for some people who might be watching today, I sent out bookmarks with all, or tags with all of my holiday catalogs when I sent them out. And the tags that I made with this paper, I included a piece of this in with it, because this stuff goes with everything. Even though it's not the same as the iridescent, it still works, okay? And I also added something else, which I have plenty of because I have it left over from last year. And it's this mesh, silver mesh ribbon. Okay, so this is really interesting, this stuff. I use this to tie bows through the tops of my tags. Believe it or not, you can actually stretch it. It's like cobweb. And in fact, it was in the Halloween pages last year, and I think that's why a lot of people missed it. But it actually ties a really good ribbon. Believe it or not, you might not know that. If you were lucky enough to get one of the tags that I tied up with this ribbon, you'll have noticed what a nice bow it makes. I'm just going to quickly tie one for you now. So this is not part of this suite. This was in last year's stuff. It's this year in the annual catalogue, this mesh ribbon, but it's something really different, and it's one of those things that I think a lot of people missed because it's so unusual, but it doesn't make a big statement. It's kind of like a subtle kind of a thing, but it is very, very pretty, and I used it to tie the tops of my tags with this. So, oh no, that's terrible. So you mean this stuff, Cherie, but it was a different brand, was that right? Look, I know people buy other brands of stuff. I do swear by Stampin'Up because I think it's such great quality, but you know, sometimes that's the difference, you know, if you buy something elsewhere and it doesn't live up to the quality, then that's when we probably come back to Stampin' Up again. All right, I am going to pop this onto this piece of silver. I'm just going to use Tombow for that. You could use seal as well, but I've got Tombow here, so this is the one I'm going to use. I learned that lesson early. I remember when I first joined Stampin' Up and I was still learning, and I wanted to do some brayering, and I was working with a team member, and we were working on glossy cardstock, which we no longer have, but we did have it a couple of years ago. And glossy cardstock is one of those things you can do lots and lots of different techniques with it. And we used to brayer with a rubber brayer on it, and it looked beautiful, gave you a beautiful, beautiful look. But I thought I could save some money, and I bought some like photo paper, like for printing photos on, because it looked and felt exactly the same as the glossy cardstock. And do you think I could get a good brayering on that cardstock? I couldn't. I thought I was doing it wrong. I tried and I tried, and I just couldn't get it to work. And it was when someone said, why don't you switch over back to the Stampin' Up cardstock and just see? Because it was a lot more expensive, and I thought, no, I don't want to spend the money when it's the same stuff. It feels and looks the same. And you know what? As soon as I started brayering on the glossy cardstock that Stampin' Up had, it worked perfectly, because it was just so much better quality. And it was a really good lesson for me, because you get what you pay for, hey? So, yep. I know. I found out the hard way too, Judy. So exactly the same. All right, so this is going to go right here in the middle. I really love a centerpiece, and you may notice I do that quite a lot. I'll put a piece right in the middle. I just think it looks really, really good. And I'm going to use my blingy paper, my bedazzled paper. It's going to go here, and I'm going to put a sentiment here in the middle of this one. So this is basically how this is going to go. And I thought I'd use one of the sentiments from the Merriest Moments, if they'll fit. Let's have a quick look and see. The one I'm leaning towards, because it's the smaller of them, and it will fit really nicely, is A Joyful Christmas to You and Yours. So let's pop this on a block. And what color shall we do? We can do silver embossing, or we could do Mossy Meadow, because that's pretty quick and it's in the color. That will look nice. Or I could use the Mint Macaron, which is lighter, but it will probably go with more of the card. So I'm just wondering what people would like me to do. What do you think? What colors shall we go on our white piece with? Or we could also use Blushing Bride. That's in there as well. Has anyone got any thoughts on that? Obviously the Merry Merlot is going to stand out more, but Mint Macaron. Okay, Tina, that's what we're going to do. Okay, I have my Mint Macaron ink pad here. I'm just going to test it first. I haven't used this one for a while, so I just want to make sure that it's stamping dark enough. Yeah, that's all right. Sometimes if it's not, I'll add a little bit more ink. That's usually the smart thing to do before you try and stamp something. And because I want to make sure I get a good image, I'm going to use a matte underneath. So let's ink this up again. And this is such a nice sentiment, really nice. A Joyful Christmas to You and Yours. It's just a really nice sentiment. All right. And while I've got this out, let's see, how much ink is still on this? Quite a bit. So let me go into the Mint Macaron and just very gently do the outside of the circle. Now, like I was saying before, I don't actually have the Blushing Bride ribbon that comes with this. We have lots of other ribbons that would look nice. We have, I tell you, a ribbon that would look really good with this if I wanted to use a ribbon. I haven't decided yet whether I will. Would be the iridescent glittered ribbon. That would look really good. And that's also in our new catalogue as well. And it's just like the black glittered organdy ribbon, but it's white. And it's got the iridescent dots. So that would work. What would Mossy Meadow look like? We could try that as well. It would be darker. It's the same color as the holly here. Now I'm going to pop some dimensionals behind here. So this is one, if you're wondering about this label, this is also out of those seasonal labels dies. Like I told you, I'm using them all the time, and it's the medium size one, so it's smaller than the one we used on our first card. So this is the biggest one, and the next size down is this one. So love, love, love these. I just think they're super, super useful. Now, am I going to put it right in the middle? No, I think I'll put it a little bit down. Just make it a bit more interesting. Just like that. And then I'm going to pop some more dimensionals behind here because, you know, I'm a bit dimensional obsessed. For anyone who hasn't worked that out, it's just my thing. I wasn't sure if that colour would be too dark too, so I think so. Of course, what this is going to need is another sponging around here. It's looking nice though. For such a simple card, doesn't look good. You know, I never used to use a lot of green, and I'm definitely using more greens than I ever used to. So I've got one portrait card tonight and one landscape. So I'm just, it's going to be subtle because I'm using the same color as my cardstock. But when you put it against a white card base, which is what we're going to have, this edge does stand out more. One of the things I have in my reindeer class, I mean, we have the 4 cards, and I've got a couple of tips in there of things you can do, including how to cut the reindeers out of the paper when they're facing the wrong way. That little tip is in the class. I may make a standard YouTube video of that at some point, but I haven't done that. I haven't got around to that yet. Alright, so we're just going to use our bone folder. Just give that a nice flat edge. Make sure I've got my card facing the right way so I don't make what I like to call an Irish card. I don't know why we say that. An Irish card. Because it's back to front. I don't know. It's not very nice if you're Irish. Well, I am mostly Irish. A lot of Irish in me. Relatives that came from here, there and everywhere, but mostly Irish in the UK. And my grandmother on my dad's side was Portuguese, but apart from that, mostly Irish and English. All right, I do feel like it needs a ribbon or something. So, I'm just pulling my ribbon box out to have a bit of a look and see what might look nice. This is the black organdy that I was talking about. This is obviously not correct, but the white one is the same as that. And in a second, I plan on finding that. And then we'll have a look and see if that's right. Gosh, we've got some nice ribbons this year. Alright, so I have got some of the white organdy, however you say that, and then we've also got good old white seam binding, which is always good because you can make that any color you like. If I was to pick a ribbon that I think you should always have in your collection, it would be the white seam binding. Like I said, you can turn it into any color, either with blends or ink sponged over it, whatever you like. You can make it literally match every single project. So there's that possibility. Now this is a new one. Let me just open this up. tool. Get that under there. The only thing I don't like about ribbons is opening them. Once I get them open, I love them, but getting them open is sometimes a challenge. Yeah, the white glitter ribbon, I think you're right. I think that's going to be the one I want. So can you see it? How pretty this is? It's got all these lovely glittery, different coloured pieces in it. So, I mean, I could just loop it underneath, except I've already stuck this down. So let's tie it and just see how that looks. And then if I don't like this, I might lift it up and put this underneath. But it's kind of a stiff ribbon, but that doesn't make it hard to tie. It's sort of, it holds its shape quite well because it's a little bit stiff. I do prefer a softer ribbon to tie, but it doesn't look bad. I'm just making the loops a little bit smaller. Okay. And then what I want to do is I want to grab my ribbon scissors, wherever those might have got to at the moment. And if you can't find your ribbon scissors, that's when you grab your paper snips and hope for the best. Oh, they're good. Paper snips aren't ideal for ribbon, but... Right, so I'm just going to kind of push this ribbon into place where I want it to be. And use a glue dot. Push it on. Take it off gently so the ribbon comes to. Sorry, the ribbon and the glue dot come to. Now that's quite pretty because it's very subtle. I'm just going to cut these ties a little bit shorter. There we go. What do we think of that? I think it turned out pretty nice. I like both of the cards today. I think they turned out lovely. There we go. Now, let me quickly look back and see if I've missed any comments because I haven't been able to look for a little while. Sometimes the chat appears up next to the video, and for some reason tonight it's down below, so I can't look at the video and the chat at the same time, which is kind of weird. Yeah, I think it makes the card look soft too. It's nice. So there you go, guys. There's my cards for tonight. I hope everyone has had a great weekend. Don't forget, if you're interested in the reindeer class, tonight's the last night. I'll be mailing out supplies tomorrow. So that's why I'm closing it off tonight. Tomorrow or Tuesday at the very latest if there's any last minute ones that I don't get to tomorrow. So I hope everyone has enjoyed the cards tonight. I hope you all keep well wherever in the world you may be. I hope that this is a good week. Monday is a chance. A lot of people don't say they don't like Mondays, but I always think every Monday is a chance to start over and make it a good week. So I hope that's your experience this week. And let's all go and see some stuff. Oh, quickly, before I finish, my 15th anniversary with Stampin' Up is coming up on the 7th of September. So during the first week of September, I'm planning on having lots and lots of cool things going on. There'll be more lives. There'll be a whole bunch of things going on over on my Facebook page and my Facebook group for those who are in the VIP group. So there's going to be things happening on all of those things. I'm going to have some specials and some promotions and some ideas and things that that more so than usual. So if you are wanting to be around for that, I would love to see you there because I think it's going to be fun. All right, guys, have a great week. Thanks for all your kind wishes. Thank you, Tina, wishing hubby to get well. I know he appreciates that. And I will see you all soon, okay? So stay well, friends, and have a great week. See you next week. Bye.